Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for another YouTube practice. Today we are doing a spicy power Vinyasa flow. We are going to be building some energy and heat within the body, strengthening, stretching, balancing, all of that juicy stuff in together as we observe and increase our awareness within the body too. So we're going to start the class standing, so bringing the feet roughly hip width apart, and we're going to close the eyes or steady the gaze and start to ground into this practice. So beginning to observe your own breath. Perhaps noticing what your breath wants you to know today. And checking in with the body. Noticing any little aches or pains. Any areas that feel good, that feel relaxed, or that feel tense. Just accepting whatever is there. We're not trying to change anything. Just observing. Being the watcher and the observer. Inhabiting our body as fully as we can. So allow the face and the shoulders to soften. All four corners of the feet pressing down into the ground beneath you. Notice if there's a natural sway within the body. Notice any energy, any tingling that you can feel, maybe in the feet or the hands. And set an intention for this practice today. So it can be an intention that's personal to you. Or you can have the intention with me today, which is going to be, I am exactly where I'm meant to be right now. And just breathe in, I am. And breathe out exactly where I'm meant to be right now. Opening the eyes up now if you had them closed. And we'll inhale, reach the fingertips up, lift your ribs away from the hips. I'm going to take the arms around in some circles with the arms going in opposite directions. So left arm's coming out in front, right arm circling behind. So we're switching on the body, but we're also switching on the mind. Don't worry if this is kind of tricky for you. Stay with your breath, moving the arms around in these opposite directions. And then meeting with both fingers reaching back up. We're going to take it the other way now. So right arm reach forwards to begin with, left arm reaches back. And see if you can really keep the body as still as possible here as you move the arms. So drawing the rib cage in, finding a little bit of activation through the core. Trying not to whack anything with your arms as you do this, depending on what you've got around you at home. I know I just whacked my radiator, so be careful. Last one, well done. Relax the arms down by the side of the body. Take a couple of shoulder rolls, interlace the fingers behind the back, open across the chest. So you can feel the shoulder blades drawing in towards each other here. And release. Interlace the fingers out to front, palms facing in. Exhale, reach the arms out in front, drop the chin down towards the chest, round the spine. So draw the belly button in here as well. Breathing. And inhale, relax the arms, lift the head. So stepping the feet in a little bit closer together. Inhale, sit the hips back, sweep the arms up by the ears, Utkatasana. Just going to bring the hands through to heart center. Inhale here, exhale, twist to the right. Tap the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the left, tap the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Inhale, back to center. Reach the arms up by the ears. Exhale, take a forward fold. So we're going to do 2 more of those. So inhale, sit the hips back, find Utkatasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale here, exhale, twist to the right, tap the left elbow to the right thigh. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the left, tap the right elbow to the left thigh. Inhale, back to center, lengthen the arms up by the ears. Exhale, fold forwards, lengthen through the legs if that feels good too. Last one, inhale, sit the hips back, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale first, exhale, twist to the right, take your elbow tap. Inhale, back to center, exhale, twist to the left, take the elbow tap. Inhale, back to center, bring the arms up by the ears, well done. Exhale, fold. And now you can step the feet out slightly so they're roughly hip width and hang down here in your forward fold. Option to walk the hands underneath the feet so the feet can massage the hands and the hands can massage the feet. Let the head hang heavy. Already starting to build that energy within the body. It's connecting to Manipura chakra here, that fire element, that inner fire, inner power, that inner determination and willpower. That's what this energy center is all about in our solar plexus area. So moving into that a little bit today. Release the hands. Keep some softness in the legs. Inhale, curl the body up to standing with a rounded spine. Lifting the head up, last meeting in Tadasana, mountain pose. Coming into our Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, float the hands up. Lift your heart away from your tailbone. And exhale, forward fold. Bend the legs as much as you need to. Inhale, lift the chest, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Either step or jump the feet back to plank. And flow through your vinyasa, inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Pausing here, taking a breath. Hips are lifting away from the earth. Inhale, sweep your right foot through between the hands, reach the fingertips up, find your high lunge, lifting up and out from the waist. Option to come up on the ball of the right foot here. So heels coming away from the mat, just an option, you don't have to take it. Draw that right heel back down. Open out now, find your warrior two. Send your gaze over the right fingertips. Tuck the tailbone in. Lengthen through the right leg. Inhale, reach forwards, forwards, forwards with the right fingertips. And pivoting from the waist. Open out to Trikonasana. Send your gaze up to the ceiling. Take any blocks, props, support that you need here. Really keeping that left shoulder opening up. Pressing the feet down and away into the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, come back to upright position. And then we're going to inhale, reach both arms up, so arms are by the ears. And you might like to step that back foot in slightly and bring your toes pointing inwards a little more. Inhale, lift up and out from the waist. And exhale, we're going to float this left arm to the outside of the right foot. You can take your block here, reach your right fingertips up to the ceiling, revolve Trikonasana. So taking that left hand on a block, for most of us, is going to be a really nice option here. Give yourself that space in the twist. And then starting to bend into this right leg. Powering through into this right leg. Walk that left hand forwards, lift your left leg away from the mat. We're still staying in this twist for a revolved Ardha Chandrasana, a revolved half moon pose. Again, the left hand can stay on the block. Well done. Float both hands back down to the mat. Step it back to plank. Flow through your vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Option for a child's pose here, or any other resting pose that feels good for you. Inhale, step the left foot through between the hands, reach the fingertips up, lift up and out from the waist. Option to come onto the ball of the left foot, lifting that left heel away from the mat. Stay with your breath. Bring your left heel back down, open out, find your warrior two position. Sinking into that left leg, tuck the tailbone in, gaze over the left fingertips. Lengthen through the left leg. Inhale, reach forwards, forwards, forwards with the left fingertips. And tipping from the waist, we open out into Trikonasana. Gaze comes up towards the ceiling. Pressing the feet down and away into your mat. Inhale, lift the chest, come back to center. Reach both arms up so they're coming by the ears. Step that back foot in a little and you can point the toes inward slightly. Inhale, make space. Exhale, right hand comes to the outside of the left foot or to your block here. Left fingertips reach up to the ceiling. Revolve Trikonasana. Keep breathing. Gaze is looking up towards the ceiling. And then transitioning here, stepping that right hand forwards. Again, it could still be on the block. Lift the right foot away from the mat. Find your revolved half moon. Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Just breathing into any of those wobbles and shakes. And bring the hands back down to frame the front foot, step it back to plank. And Vinyasa, inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to downward facing dog. Again, taking a child's pose here if you need to. Take a moment to reconnect with your breath. Right leg sweeps up to three-leg dog. Inhale, right knee to right elbow. Bring that right knee over to the left elbow. Bring it into the nose. Bring it back to a three-leg dog. Option to bend the leg here. And bring the right leg down. Inhale, float the left leg up to three-leg dog. Opening into the hips if that feels good too. Float the left knee to the left elbow. Bring it over to the right elbow. Bring the knee in towards the nose. And float the left leg back to three-leg dog. Option to bend through the leg. Opening here into that left thigh. And float the left leg back down. Inhale, reach the right foot back up to another three-leg dog. This time we're bringing this right knee to the right wrist. And then step the right foot to the outside of both hands. Grounding through the left hand. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up to the ceiling. On the exhale, see if you can take a little thread through, so threading that right arm underneath the left. So 3 more of these. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread through, drop the back knee if you need to modify. 2 more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread through. Last one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread through. Bring both hands back down to the mat. Walk your right foot in between the hands. Inhale, reach the arms away from the mat. Open out to a wide leg stance, toes pointing out. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend through the legs to goddess. Knees tracking over the toes. Bring that weight into the outside edges of the feet. Lift up and out through the pelvis. Float your hands down to the thighs. And we're going to dip this left shoulder down. Send your gaze up to the ceiling. Come back to center. Dip the right shoulder down. Look up to the ceiling. Back to center once more on each side. Dip the left shoulder down. Come back up through to center. Dip the right shoulder down. Back up to center. And release. Float the hands around to frame that front foot. Step it back to plank. And float through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale back to your downward facing dog. Hips are lifting away from the ribs. This time, inhale, sweep the left foot up to the ceiling. Find your three-leg dog. Float the left knee through. Hover that left knee towards the left wrist. Then see if you can step it through to the outside of both hands. So we're in lizard. And again, to modify, you could be dropping that back knee down. Inhale, reach the left fingertips up to the ceiling. Follow with the gaze. Exhale, thread the left arm underneath the right. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, threading through. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, threading through. And last one, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, threading through. Bring both hands back down to the mat. Walk your left foot in between your hands. Inhale, reach the arms away from the mat, up and over. Open out to wide leg stance, toes pointing out towards the corners of the mat. Inhale, reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale, float into goddess, cactus the arms to begin with. Bring some weight into the outside edges of the feet, opening into the hip space. Hands come down to the thighs. Dip the left shoulder down. Come back up to center. Dip the right shoulder down. Come back to center. Once more on each side, dip the left shoulder. Back to center. And dip the right shoulder. Back to center. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, pausing here. Option to lift the heels away from the mat, coming up on the balls of the feet. Breathing. Draw the heels back down. Release the legs, well done. Final vinyasa. Float the arms around to frame the front foot, step it back to plank. And inhale into upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale back to a downward facing dog. Now your option here is take a child's pose. Or we're going to walk the feet in and do some bunny hops to handstand, or just bunny hops. So what we really want to make sure here is that we're pressing the hands into the mat and finding that lift up through the shoulders, staying strong through the core, and then maybe tapping the heels in towards the bottom. So taking 5 of these. Maybe you're jumping up to a handstand, if that's in your practice. And then coming back to a downward dog, walk your feet in towards the hands, come up on your toes, bend through the legs and come into this squat position. See if you can hover your hands to Anjali Mudra, heart center here. Inhale here, can you take a little twist to the right? Can you tap this right elbow to the left thigh? Left elbow to the right thigh. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow to left thigh. Can you keep those thighs squeezing in together as you do this? So once more on each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the right. Take the tap. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Take the tap. Inhale, center. Last one on each side. Exhale, twist to the right. Take that tap and maybe the arms open out here as well into a little twist. And a little opening. Bring them back in, come back to center and twist to the left. Tap the right elbow. Maybe you're opening the arms out, finding that little deeper twist there. And bring the hands back to heart center. And bring your hips down to the mat. Well done. So now from here, we're going to come into a seated Malasana position. So the feet are further than hip width apart, toes pointing out, hands in Anjali Mudra, elbows pressing into the inside of the legs. So opening into that hip space and really lift the crown of your head to the ceiling. So you're either going to be working here, or you can take your full Malasana if that's in your practice. Or we're going to start to see if from here you're lengthening through the arms and seeing if you can bring your arms underneath the creases of the legs at all. So this is quite a strong through the hips. And then what we're going to do is come to this left side and see if you can take a little hook with this left leg coming over the top of the left arm. And then you can play around with this. An option to then ground the hands into the mat. Maybe you can lift the hips away, coming into the elephant trunk pose. Sometimes can help if you're working with this to have your blocks and have your hands on blocks, and that gives you a little bit more height to support you. So working here. So having a go with that. Coming over to the other side, so maybe just seeing if you can take that hook. Maybe bringing your hands to blocks. We often have one side that's a little bit more, that feels a little bit easier than the other. And of course, if you have your transition into crazy 8 pose, you can take your hook. Maybe you then hook the feet and shift forwards into your crazy 8. And again, using blocks here to support you can be a really nice way to help when you're working with arm balances. So having a play around of that on each side. And when you're ready, just coming back to a seated position. And we're going to bring the soles of the feet in together, let the knees drop out to the side for bound angle Baddha Konasana. Inhale, reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. And exhale, fold forwards, leading with the chest. And coming back to that intention now that we set at the beginning of the practice, whether that was something personal to you or whether it was the intention of knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be right now. Inhale, start to lift your chest away from the fold and just slide the legs into comfortable seated position on your mat. Or close down the eyes or take a steady gaze. Bring one hand to the chest, one hand to the belly. And we'll inhale, I am. Exhale, exactly where I'm meant to be right now. And last one, inhale, I am. Exhale, exactly where I'm meant to be right now. Notice the connection between your hands and your chest, your belly. When you're ready, open the eyes back up. Just release the hands coming back into the physical body. As always, if you have longer to take a long Shavasana here, I definitely recommend that you do so. Really important part of this practice. Thank you so much for being here and joining me for this flow. If you enjoyed it, it would mean the world to me if you could click the like button or subscribe to this channel. It's completely free, and that just helps other people to enjoy these free videos and share this practice with them as well. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you again for another flow very soon. Take care. Bye bye.